Solo. So anyways, I wanted to go back and tackle the Electric State. It came out a week or so ago, I want to say, on Netflix. It stars Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, and let me get the thing. What do you call it? Woody Harrelson, Ki Hoon Kwan, Anne Russo, Alan Tudyk, Stanley Tucci, and Holly Hunter. It's just to name a few. It's directed by the Russo brothers. It's about 2 hours and 5 minutes. Basically, guys, if I'm going to run, because this is going to be spoilers, so be warned, spoilers. Millie Bobby Brown's character goes through something tragic. Her brother ends up getting killed somehow. He's a genius. And she kind of falls into the foster system, which Jason Alexander's his father there. Everybody's using these computer things over their heads. Robots are coexisting with them, each other. They become enemies. The robots, after everything else, have been abused, taken advantage of, decide to go against the humans. Sparks of war in the 1990s. They go their own way. They're kind of like isolated here and there. So they're like enemies of humans. So humans can't have them, anything like that. So that's what goes on for a little while. You find out later that Millie Bobby Brown misses her brother. You see flashbacks of what's going on in there. She's depressed. She's rebelling. She doesn't want to use technology. Any of that reminds her of her brother. She ends up finding somehow, some way, through a little robot, that maybe her brother is still alive. Somehow. So she's on her quest to go find her brother. That's when, Stanley Tucci comes in the picture. He's this new computer tech guy who's using technology. He's pushing this, pushing that, trying to revive the whole area there that, hey, there's a new life. Everything will be good. Don't worry, I'm going to figure stuff out. He's the bad guy in the film. So he's the antagonist that we're kind of figure out he's power driven. And we find out that he has her brother hooked up to this machine and all this stuff. And she wants her brother, who's trapped in this little robot thing, back so he can do what he needs to do in order to rule the world. And she's on her journey. She comes across Chris Pratt, who has a robot as a friend. That relationship between Chris Pratt and that robot, amazing. A lot of nostalgic feel, guys. It feels like the 1990s. Special effects are phenomenal. Things blowing up, great. Big budget, apparently $320 million, but it didn't look like a $320 million film, I can tell you right now, because, I don't know, maybe the storyline was a little flat. It was decent to watch. I enjoyed it personally. A lot of people have been shitting on it. Because of the price, the budget. Now, it looked cool. A lot of old kind of like toys from the past that were made into robots that you're like, like Mr. Peanut. He's a robot. I think he's played by, let's see if I'm getting it right here. Woody Harrelson plays Mr. Peanut. He kind of leads the robot rebellion that wants to kind of like slowly put robots back on the map and all that. So you got everybody clashing with each other. There's a big kind of like battle that happens near the end that she's on her way to save her brother. She ends up going to the brother, but she ends up going to the world. She has to use these little things again. Like she doesn't want to use technology to have a conversation with her brother, which is near and dear to her. And after it's all said and done, her brother wants to stay there because she doesn't want the robots to end. Because if you end up taking him out, all the robots pretty much perish because it's all connected to him. So he wants to live in that world. And then she kind of, says her goodbye, saves the day. She's the new savior. The robots are still okay. Stanley Tucci gets what he deserves. He goes to jail and whatever. Her brother seems to come back in another robot or the same robot that looked like it got destroyed. And that's where the movie ends. So I don't know if it's going to be a sequel. But either way, it was an enjoyable film. Like I said, it looked good. It felt like the 1990s. Storyline was a little bit on the weak side, but enjoyable. I went in with low expectations, and I came out with that. And I think it was okay for what it was. I'm not going to say it's the greatest film, but it's one of the Russo's better films that they put together. Yes, when you hear it's $20 million budget to make this movie, and that's what we got, you're kind of like, there's a little bad taste in your mouth, right? Especially when you've seen other films that are not even a quarter of the budget that turned out a lot better than this did. But either way, it's okay. It's always hit and miss on Netflix. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section below. What did you guys think about it? Don't hate too much on it. I don't want to hear no blah, blah, blah. Millie Bobby Brown, all the actors brought it, in my personal opinion. They actually bought into their roles, and that's why I kind of enjoyed it more. Because if they were in there and they kind of like sold out and just, who cares, whatever. you're not going to enjoy it. It came across the screen that they really cared what they were doing. Millie Bobby Brown, damn good job. Chris Pratt, those two. And Stanley Tucci, hell yeah. Sign me up. And I enjoyed it. So that's my official Electric State movie review. So go check it out for yourselves. Comment in the comment section below. That's all I have to say there. Okay.